Hey everybody, Ron Bielefeld, Whistling Wings Photography. Welcome to another video out here at the Sebastian Inlet, not very far from my house. Beautiful out now, gonna rain later. So we're out here early this morning, gonna do a demo for you. That's what this video is gonna be about. I'm gonna be talking about there's two settings in the camera, and I'm gonna be using the Canon R5 in this example, but it's applicable to other cameras as well in the Canon mirrorless line, and that's the setting for display performance and the setting for high-speed display. I want to show you what they do, and then I'm going to try to explain how they work and when to use them. So if you're interested in knowing more, stay tuned. All right, got my trusty notepad here because I don't want to miss anything or get anything wrong. I get things wrong a lot. Then I get all these nasty emails and comments saying, yeah, you're wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong a lot. Anyway, we're talking about, in this case, the Canon R5, but it applies, like I said in the intro, to other Canon mirrorless cameras. We're talking about two settings. And we'll go into the menu real quick and I'll show you where they are. Here they are. Here they are. We're in the setup menu, the first menu, and then tabs 7 and 8. And on those tabs, there are two settings: display performance and high speed display. And what we're going to talk about here is what they are and what they do, when they do it. Stuff like that, because it can make a difference for birds in flight, which is what we're talking about. Birds in flight, action type photography. So let's talk about display performance first. We've got two settings here: one, power savings, and two, smooth. So what does display performance setting actually do? It changes the refresh rate of the electronic viewfinder. So if you have it on power savings, it refreshes at a rate of about 60 frames per second. If you change it to smooth, it doubles that to almost 120 frames per second. Now, it's only working when you're not shooting. But we're not shooting a lot when we're doing birds in flight. When we bring the camera up to our eye and we're trying to get on that bird, that flying bird, when we're trying to get on that warbler bopping around in a bush or something like that, that hummingbird going from flower to flower, when we're not actually shooting, that 120 frame per second refresh rate makes a big difference, and you'd be able to get on the bird if it's a bird in flight, or like I said in those other scenarios, trying to keep up with the bird as it's moving around, getting on the bird, getting focus, and then taking your pictures. So having that refresh rate set to smooth can make a big, big difference in getting our images that we're after. So I always have mine set to smooth. Let's make sure I didn't forget anything here. I think that's about it for that one. I didn't say this was going to be a long video. I'm also going to show some video where I recorded the viewfinder, show you the difference between having these settings turned on and having them turned off. This setting here, display performance, it's really hard to show a difference on and off when you're trying to record the viewfinder through a external recorder. It's the only way you can do it, so it's really hard to pan with birds smoothly. I use my speed shooter harness system, which isn't on there. Why is it not on there? I forgot to put it on there because I was just using it. Oh well, anyway, I should have one on there all the time, but I sell them, so they come off and they go to people. But anyway, okay, so it's hard to show that one, but high speed display setting, the next one. How do we deal with that? What is it? High speed display. I'm not sure exactly what Canon's doing with this setting. I think they're inserting frames. And that will make sense when we talk about when it really works, when it's working. It's working at other times, kind of automatically. But if you shoot in mechanical shutter and you shoot on high frame rate, which is about 5-6 frames per second, that's the H, not the H+, that's when it's active. Because when you're shooting at 5 frames per second in mechanical shutter mode, the shutter is, of course, opening and closing. The viewfinder is refreshing in between, but you get a little bit of that stop action. Remember digital SLRs all those years ago with the mirror flopping around, mechanical shutter flopping around in there? You got a stop action kind of look as you're looking through the optical viewfinder. That mirror's going up and down, so you're getting blackout in between each time the shutter goes. So that's kind of what happens when you're in mechanical shutter mode shooting H speed. Okay, your frames per second is set to H, not H+, H. About 5 or 6 frames per second, you got the mechanical shutter going. You're getting that little bit of a stutter in there. A little bit of a lag is also kind of in there. And so it's harder to pan with a fast subject when you're on that setting, or on those settings. So if you turn high-speed display on, I think Canon's starting to do some magic back there, and now you look and you shoot, and you don't see that stutter anymore. It looks much smoother. That lag kind of goes away. If you shoot mechanical shutter H+ a lot, you'll notice that you don't see much stutter in there at all or any lag. Shoot electronic shutter, you don't see that. On the R5, you're at 20 frames per second. And then if you turn on this high-speed display setting, enable it, you won't see it so much either if you're set to the speed of H, about 5 or 6 frames per second, like I said. They're inserting frames. I don't know what they're doing, but it smooths it out, makes it easier to pan with a bird when you're actually shooting. So you don't really need it when you're in H+ mechanical shutter because it's already, I think it's already automatically enabled there. And also when you're in electronic shutter, I know it's automatically enabled, high-speed display. So it really comes down to that one shooting scenario where you're shooting mechanical shutter, H speed, frames per second, 5 to 6 frames per second. If you do that a lot, you're going to want to have this high-speed display turned on. I always leave it on. I don't think it's a problem leaving it on. So if I do find myself in that scenario, it's there, it's working. It makes a big difference. You can look at some video footage here. It's hard to see when you're recording the viewfinder the difference, but you can see a little bit of a difference. It's more pronounced when you're actually live looking through the viewfinder and you're actually shooting. It's actually quite a big difference. Doesn't look like a big difference in the video footage I'm showing you, but in real life, when you're looking through the viewfinder, there's a big difference there. It makes a big difference. Now, some other things that you have to know about. It works with, I know, RF lenses, and now I think with EF and EFS lenses adapted to these bodies, the R5 for example. Not sure how well it works with third-party lenses that you're trying to adapt. I'm not quite sure how that works. Don't have any third-party lenses to really try, so maybe you can try it and let me know if you see a difference there. I've heard different things. At first, this thing only worked with RF lenses. Now with firmware updates and stuff like that, it works with adapted EF lenses, Canon lenses, but I'm not so sure about adapted third-party lenses. So, there you go. Don't know everything. You can teach me something. Go ahead, give it a try. Put it down in the comments and let me know if your Tamron or Sigma adapted to your Canon R5. You see a difference with high-speed display turned on, right? What else we got there? That's about it. Short video today. But I think an important one in a way, because I have a lot of clients asking me, when we're going through the setup of their cameras and stuff like that, what do these things do? What do these two settings do? Try to explain it to them, just like I did now. Got a lot of other people coming to asking me, why this lag in my viewfinder, this stuttering when I'm in these settings as far as mechanical shutter and your frames per second setting of H. I say, well, do you have your high-speed display turned on? They go, what's that? Well, now you know what it is. So, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Hey, if you like my channel, I'm always asking, please subscribe, hit that notifications button, bell thingy, ding, ding, ding. Let you know when I've posted a new video. It's always great to see new people subscribing. And that's about it. So, until next time, be safe out there. I hope you have great light. Hope you get great images. I'll see you soon.